And we're back with another KATcast, and it's all about discontinued items today. Maybe our favorite discontinued items, maybe things that we just really wish would come back, or maybe some of the discontinued items that we're like, thank God those finally went away.
About time.
Okay.
Yeah. Discontinued items. So I'll get it kicked off.
Yeah.
Some of the items that I'm very excited that I'd like them to bring back, that I was very mad that they took away. Number one for me was Butterfinger BBs.
Those were fantastic.
I loved those. Now, you at the store and they got I call it the temptation aisle. It's you've got everything you need.
Yeah.
You're there and it's like,
and then they know you're looking.
Here's the beef jerky and the gum and
it's
this.
An impulse
Can we
buy.
tempt you with the candy bar,
Yep.
And there was always those Butterfinger, Simpsons branded Butterfinger BBs looking at me, and I loved those things.
So what was great about those, because those were then replaced with the mini Butterfingers.
Yeah, that's right.
And the mini
that's right.
they're fine, I like those whenever we go to the movies. But they're so messy. There's something about how they're made. They're so extra flaky.
Right.
They are a little crumbly, aren't they?
That they just kind of fall apart. Whereas those little BBs, they were just poppable. They were fantastic. So that was one thing that I'm with you. I think should totally be brought back.
I have to admit, I'm completely ignorant on this.
The Butterfinger BBs?
I know what Butterfingers are.
Yeah. So they
were just little round.
They're like little round Butterfinger balls, basically.
Chocolate-coated.
Little deliciousness, and you can just pop them in your mouth. And
it
was like a very convenient way to eat a Butterfinger.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so good, man.
And as per the rule with the regular Butterfinger, nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger BB.
Another
Bart
thing,
Simpson will tell you that.
Another thing, also, by the way, that you would also find the same aisle right as soon as you were checking out. Do you remember Altoid sours?
I remember Altoids.
They used to make these Altoid tangerine sours
that
I loved. They don't make them anymore. I don't know why. I still like Altoids, but why don't they make the delicious tangerine sours? I love
My
those
wife
things.
always has Altoids in her purse. Always. We can be driving somewhere. We're
What
about to go.
flavor?
She goes, "You want out?" Yeah.
I'm a cinnamon guy. I like the cinnamon Altoids.
Say cinnamon reigns supreme. That's for sure.
The cinnamon Altoids are definitely. At the time, it was I liked the tangerine sours. I would still buy those if they were a thing that you could get today, but unfortunately, they discontinued them. And I feel like they were popular, but I don't know.
Okay, for me, one of the things that I absolutely loved was Clearly Canadian.
Oh.
Did you ever have that?
I do remember that.
It was a flavored water, and it was kind of fizzy.
Yeah.
And the cherry was hands down the best flavor on earth because it tasted like cherry lifesavers.
Clearly Canadian.
That sounds good. Yeah.
It was so good. You could get it at the gas station, So, and I think as kids, we felt fancy drinking it because it was like in this kind of tall glass bottle, with the white, Clearly Canadian and white on it, and then like your little red cherries on there. I don't know. There's just something about it. It felt fancy.
Oh, do you remember it on the flip side of that? Do you remember Orbits? It's another drink.
Yeah,
I do.
You remember? It reminded me.
Not the gum.
No. Not Orbit gum. It's Orbits with a Z.
With a Z.
It was a drink, and it had like floaters in it. It had these weird.
And not those kind of floaters.
Yeah, no. It had these like weird I don't even know what to call them. Those like little beads that you can put in water and they expand.
Sure.
They were kind of like that.
Yeah.
But they're in your drink and they were edible and but it was like pulp. It was weird.
It was a
texture.
strange consistency.
It was a weird texture
that you had to get used to.
Yeah. And there was all sorts of different flavors. And if I remember correctly, they had flavor too. So you get a blue raspberry one and it was blue raspberry flavored little Orbits floating in there.
Right.
That's what they called them. That's why the drink was called Orbits. But man, I don't know. That's one of those I'm glad they went away because no one wants to be I don't know. It reminds me of boba tea.
You don't want to chew your drink.
I don't want to chew my drink,
Yeah.
That's kind of a gross thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people like that boba tea.
That
but
chunky or whatever.
That texture.
We're talking about things that no longer are, that we kind of are nostalgic for, things that you wish would come back. Okay, this is one from my nerddom. I loved Radio Shack.
To be fair, yeah.
Radio Shack was a cool... That is a throwback to my childhood. I spent a lot of time in Radio Shack. I had the battery card. You go in, you get enough punches on it, you get a free battery. And the thing that was really cool about, to me, Radio Shack was as a young nerd in training, okay, I could go in and talk to another nerd who was standing behind the counter. Generally, they had somebody who was very knowledgeable about the products they sold. And I'm looking for such and such, and they'll go, okay, we Yeah, we have those right over here. And they would explain how they work. Radio Shack was a cool, and again, I get it. The times have moved on.
Yeah.
And there is no need for that now. If you get your electronics from online and whatnot, but there was just something enjoyable going into a Radio Shack store.
You used to have Radio Shacks everywhere.
Yeah. They were all over the place.
It didn't matter. An outlet mall, regular mall, there was at least 2 Radio Shacks at every place I'd ever been to.
My father had a computer in the 80s. He had a computer before I had a computer. My dad had bought a TRS-80, a Tandy computer from Radio Shack. And I remember going over to his place and he had it all set up. And I was like, this is so cool.
That is awesome, man.
Any type of video store.
Yeah.
There was nothing better on a Friday night than going home after school. Mom, can Christy spend the night or Jody spend the night? Oh, yeah, sure. And I'll tell you what, when she gets here, I'll take you girls up and we can rent a movie. Nothing better than that. And it was great if the video place said, oh, yeah, here, it's due back Sunday afternoon. That meant you had the whole weekend to watch it as many times as you wanted.
Nice.
Those were the days, kids.
I love that too. Back in the day, my grandma actually used to work at a home video store.
Yeah. Yes.
So and I don't know what the exact policy was, but they would get offered to be able to buy some of these videos for cheap, on the cheap. And so for Christmas and stuff like that,
oh sure,
we'd be getting all sorts of VHSs from my grandma. We love it. We're like, oh, Great Mouse Detective, all these things. But it is funny. You'd open every single one of them up and it'd be like, home movie store, a little sticker on there, and you do it I'm like, oh, grandma got that discount.
I've told you guys before that we were members of Netflix.
Yeah.
Before they were online. When you got a DVD in the mail, it was in that paper envelope. You get it. You keep it as long as you can keep it for 6 months.
Yeah.
And when you send it back, you have a queue of movies that you want. Oh, what should we add to the list? Oh, let's add this movie. Okay, we'll move this to the top. Let's make this one more important.
People forget that's where Netflix started.
That's where Netflix began.
So wait a minute. You were the reason I wasn't getting my DVDs in a timely manner.
Netflix was 100% a Blockbuster competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, big time.
And then Redbox came out. And then I feel like Redbox is what forced Netflix to be like, now we got to do something else. You know what I mean? A little friendly competition there.
Okay. So I've got 2 other things on my list.
Yeah.
Go for it.
It was from the world of fast food. Okay. The first one was Taco Bell. When I was in high school, they used to have the cheesy steak burrito. So it had steak. It had your nacho cheese sauce in there. I think it had shredded cheese too. Oh. But it also had tater tots. I don't know why, but it was amazing. And I'm trying to remember if it had pico or not, but we would go, after school, we would run, before we had basketball practice, run to Taco Bell, get one of these suckers, eat it in the car as we're heading back to practice. How we didn't puke.
Wolf it down,
during basketball practice, I have no idea. But, oh my gosh, just something about that. And I've tried to explain this to the husband 8 times or so. He's a little bit older than me, and he's like, I don't remember those. And I'm like, they were the best. He's like, they had tater tots. I said, yes.
Yeah.
They like tater tots in there because it was the whole kind of crispy.
Yeah.
Yeah, tater tots are kind of mushy on the inside.
Right.
Oh, man, it was good. So Taco Bell, if you got some pull, bring that one back.
There you go.
Yeah. The other one, McDonald's. The Rolo McFlurry. Sounds like a delightful older gentleman's name. It was not.
Rolo McFlurry.
It was delicious.
Rolo McFlurry.
Their delicious soft serve with caramel in it, and then it also had little chopped up Rolo pieces, and it was the most amazing combination on earth. Somebody needs to get on that one as well.
I'll piggyback on the fast food just because it popped in my mind immediately. I need McDonald's to bring back the Big and Tasty. I love
those
the
were
Big
great.
and Tasty.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like that's all I got back in the day. And do you remember that sandwich, the Big and Tasty?
The Big and Tasty,
to be fair, since I found out the whole wheat allergy thing, I don't eat sandwiches at McDonald's because I can't, or I'm that weirdo. It's like, oh yeah, can I have a quarter pound with cheese? No bun. That's me. So no, remind me, what's the Big and Tasty?
So it was this really, really good sandwich. And it was almost, I guess it kind of were almost modeling it after. It was like a Big Mac light.
Right.
So before they had those, the small Macs or whatever the thing was, but it was kind of like that. And if I even remember correctly, it might have even been on the value menu or something like that. I can't even 100% remember, but I just remember it was my favorite sandwich. That, and I also wish they bring back their salads. Man, their salads were so
good. Yeah, the Southwestern salad was so good.
There used to be this there used to be it was a mandarin orange salad.
I remember that.
And
was good.
It always came with Newman's own sesame dressing.
Isn't it funny because you were eating that as a kid, right? Isn't it funny that you would find that good? Like a kid would find that good?
I loved that Newman's own salad. And I say kid, I might have been like 12 at the time, 13. You know,
that's still a kid.
Yeah, I was still a kid, right? But man, I wish they bring that back. That was some good stuff.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Here's one for you, and you're definitely too young to remember it.
Okay.
Aaron, you would remember it from your childhood.
Okay.
TV variety shows.
Oh, yeah.
I used to love the Carol Burnett show,
Sonny
Smothers
and
Brothers Hour, Sonny and Cher. Because what happened, for kids who you don't remember this, they used to have the big host, and they had a variety. They had skits. They had musical acts on there and everything. And it was a variety show.
Yeah.
And at some point, everybody in their career seemed to have a variety show.
Yep.
Some of them sank immediately. The Brady Bunch had a variety show after the series was done, And I don't know. Again, that's a nostalgia thing for me. I loved Carol Burnett. I thought that was a great show.
That was a good one. That really was.
So,
that was. Okay.
Jordan's like, I got no idea what you people are talking about.
I actually don't. I actually am lost. I actually am. I'm like, what are you talking? So explain to me what that is.
So a variety show, like I said, it was just.
So you had your big host.
Yeah.
So with like Carol Burnett, you know who Carol Burnett is?
I know who that is.
Great comedian. Okay, so she had, she would have guests on.
Hey, we're gonna have the Allman Brothers on tonight. They're gonna perform, and then they'd have one skit after another. Sometimes they had recurring skits, and they had a cast usually of people who would go on the show. Glenn Campbell had a variety show.
It was
Was it like a mini SNL kind of thing?
Kind of like SNL, I was going to say, but not quite, because
never edgy.
Your performers were so varied.
Yeah.
I mean, like sometimes you would have somebody who would come on and sing.
Right.
Other times you'd have maybe dancers.
Right.
Or, somebody who did like a tumbling routine, and it was juggled or whatever.
It was always very family appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, so you'd never have anything like SNL might have.
But is that maybe where the idea for SNL was spawned from? A show like that?
SNL actually came from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In.
Is that what it was?
Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In was the original show like that. That was all edgy and political and this and that, whatever. And then SNL, Lorne Michaels and all came up with.
Why don't they still do that? That sounds like that would be awesome.
I think American tastes changed. I don't know.
It was something that was fairly wholesome. Like I remember when my dad was a sheet metal worker by trade, and before he retired, and he would be on the road a lot of times throughout the week. He would leave on a Monday morning. He wouldn't come home till Friday night, and it was like one thing that we could be watching that mom's like, oh, okay, you can still watch this because Dad, because if we tried anything edgy, or where people are attempting to push it with language, whatever, mom would be like, nope, Dad's not gonna like that. Don't let him watch. See, you guys watch that. Mom is a little more loosey goosey. She would let, okay, that's fine as long as you guys are. I don't care.
Come on, kids, I got some real filth for you to watch.
No, it wasn't like that. Mom was real big on movies, so a lot of times we'd rent movies or something. But it was something that she just read about. Oh, I think I'll like this, or saw a quick trailer and didn't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
There were times where she would quickly panic and say, pop that out of the VCR. Pop it out. And then we would turn it, okay, well, Sonny and Cher's on, or this is on. We'll watch that instead. And it was not a big deal. Because it was stuff that Dad would like.
I got to talk to your mom.
Something else.
Weezy, expect a phone call.
Something else that discontinued that I'm a little mad about, and this is a recent one. Girl Scout cookies. Now they do this every once in a while. They'll add Girl Scout cookies. They'll take
find
Girl
one
Scout
you
cookies
love,
away.
and
Man, they discontinued the s'mores flavor. That was a great cookie.
Yeah.
The s'mores. I feel like that was a popular and that I feel like relatively newer flavor, but I feel like it was popular enough.
I think the classics. Maybe you consider that a classic. I don't know, but the peanut butter or Dosito or whatever they call them, that's always going to be there.
Right. Well, for me,
they ever take away those peanut butter patties. Be a revolt.
There's going to be revolution.
Or
revolution in the street.
No more Samoas. Be like, what do you mean?
Samoas, hands down, were my favorite until I figure out, so that's one of the things that's giving me highs.
That's right. Yeah. Another thing that Aaron can't eat.
But Girl Scout cookies came out with a gluten-free version. And for me, I found it's been hit or miss. if we're, in the region where we get the chocolate chip ones, they're okay.
Yeah.
But if it's like the toffee chocolate chip ones,
right?
Whoa, those are a game changer.
I think they got rid of the other ones too. Those what are they? I don't know. What do they call them? Thank me lots.
I know what you're talking about. Just the little shortbread ones.
The shortbread ones. They got rid of those too, which I was like, that was a classic.
Yeah,
Why'd
the
they
husband
got rid
was a big fan of those. He liked those. But I mean, the peanut butter patties and the chocolate covered peanut butter ones. Yeah. If those ever go away, there's going to be trouble in our household.
We're talking about things that no longer are, that we're reminiscing about them. And, hey, wouldn't it be nice if they were back? Or, why did they have to disappear? I have one thing, a food item, that I don't know necessarily I miss it, but I found it interesting.
Okay.
The jars of peanut butter and jelly together. Did you ever see those?
Yeah.
Peanut butter and goober grape.
Yeah, that's what it was. They called it goober.
No, thanks.
Yeah, I did not like that.
Did those sell well? Did people buy those?
Something about it just seems so unappealing. And I know that sounds dumb because they're together when you're eating a
but the thing is, when you put them together, you put together the amount of peanut butter and or jelly that you want.
Yeah, and also,
you don't want it pre-measured.
And also, it's like, I don't want cold peanut butter. You know what I mean? It's like you put the jelly in the fridge, and you have to fridge it once you open it. So it's like.
But then the peanut butter is going to become cold.
Cold.
That's true.
So
I don't like cold peanut butter.
Yeah, that was a mistake. You know what I mean? Well, here's the thing. It's like they were like, well, Uncrustables did it, and it's like, kind of.
The same people probably came up with New Coke. So it's like, I got a great idea. Johnson, go back to the drawing board there.
Okay. Something else I loved. Snapple. Y'all love Snapple?
We're so Snapple.
I think
I love Snapple.
I was going to say, every once in a while you might catch one, but the strawberry kiwi ones, do you remember those?
It just popped in my mind. Sobe. You remember Sobe?
Sobe with
the strawberry daiquiri Sobe. I don't even think that exists anymore, but that stuff was
Sobe's
so good.
Yeah.
Snapple, their fruit punch is delicious.
Yeah.
And their iced tea, their sweet, what do you call
sweet tea.
I remember the last time I went to New York, that's all that I feel like you could get. Like, it was like everywhere.
Snapple's a very New York, New Jersey company. I mean, I grew up watching their commercials on TV. Like Wendy, the Snapple lady. Did you ever see her?
Absolutely.
That's a happy memory.
Yeah. They always had it's almost like a candy. You're like, look, there's a joke on the cap or whatever.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Or like something inspirational.
Fun fact.
Yeah, that's right. We get some of our breakfast for your brain questions. No, I'm only kidding. That's not where we
need to do more of that, by the way. Like, I want more
delicious
things
and educational.
that just have jokes and education.
Like Laffy Taffy.
Yeah, like make the food we're opening fun.
Wait a minute. Okay, so I remember the little square Laffy Taffies, had the jokes. Dude, like the little strips that they have now, do they have jokes?
They do. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure still every Laffy Taffy does.
Because it's been a hot minute since I've had a Laffy Taffy.
Once you open up the wrapper, it's like on the other side of the wrapper.
Okay. Okay, but not the banana. That's gross. Ooh. Grape Laffy Taffy was where, or strawberry.
Yeah,
those were where it was at. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you one TV show.
Okay.
And again, and you could do this forever with TV shows, obviously. But there was one that I really liked as a kid called Ultraman. Do you remember Ultraman? No, I know you wouldn't. Okay, it was a Japanese.
Was he like a beer mascot?
They remade this, Kevin.
They may have. I don't know. Wait, here's the deal. Let me tell you what it was first.
Yeah.
It's a Japanese thing. He's a robot.
Yeah.
Okay, and the guy has to put his wrist thing together, and boom! Suddenly becomes Ultraman, and he had like a ray, and it was a kid thing, but we used to watch it when we come home from school, 4:00, whatever he was on, and my brother and I loved Ultraman, and but Hayata, he go Hayata, that was their like.
I'm telling you,
okay, did they remake that?
If you want to feel nostalgic, I'm pretty sure they just released a brand new Ultraman in like 2024.
Really?
I think they just released a brand new Ultraman.
Well, this is a picture of the original Ultraman, so I'm going to have to look up what you're talking about.
You got to check out the new one.
I'm sure it's not as good as the original.
Yeah,
nothing ever is that's
what
new.
Is, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Especially these days. But.
So after school, we would go home, and my parents, we didn't have cable growing up. And it was like a big treat to go over to somebody's house that had cable. But every day after school, and thinking back, I'm like, it's very mature subject matter. However, every day after school, we watched reruns of MASH and Three's Company.
Oh, not exactly kid shows. Yeah,
no,
I know.
No, but I mean, that's like how we passed the time because we knew that after Three's Company, okay, only 30 more minutes and then Mom will be home.
Again, Louise, were you aware that your kids were watching this?
So that's when we'd start dinner. But yeah. I mean, but...
Don't you love that back in the day? That's how it was. When you knew, you're like, this episode's on of this. Yep, Mom's home in 30 minutes.
That's
for
right.
Sure.
So we got to start dinner. My brother would set the table. Sometimes I'd start dinner. Sometimes he would. It would all depend. But yeah, looking back and then watching MASH recently again as an adult, I'm like,
wait a minute. What
adult
is this
subject matter?
Hot Lips Houlihan up to?
We just thought it was a fun nickname. Like we weren't putting two and two together.
Did you all have Pepsi Blue, by the way? Did you all enjoy that?
I remember Crystal Pepsi. We tried that, and that was just weird.
Crystal Pepsi was good back in the day, but Pepsi Blue. It was a berry flavored Pepsi.
Like blueberry?
It was berry. Like it was like weird. Neon blue. Like like the Jolly Rancher blue raspberry. You know how it looks? The color? Imagine that in liquid form. How did
I miss that one?
That's what Pepsi Blue was like. And it was a commercial success. Failure, I think. It was it was only around for a year and and I think it came out in maybe 2005.
Wow.
But Pepsi Blue, I remember having it one time and was like these people enjoy this? It's so nasty.
It's kind of like Crystal Pepsi. It's like, why do that? Like, were they worried about like the dyes and stuff they were putting in then?
I don't know.
Or does somebody just sit in a boardroom and Johnson was like, hey,
maybe at the time.
It'd be cool?
I have an idea.
You know what'd be really cool? Let's make our Pepsi clear.
Yeah. Well, it probably has something to do with that because at the time,
there was Pepsi Clear, wasn't there?
Yeah,
there was a product called Pepsi Clear.
It's just Crystal Pepsi.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. I thought it was Pepsi. Okay, all right.
Actually, there might be.
You guys, I don't know. You guys know better than I do because I always stuck by the tried and true.
But I think there was this whole thing where they thought light sodas were healthier than dark sodas. And
I guess, and it's all the same sugar and everything else, and that's what's stupid.
Right? Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
So, but I think they were playing off of that.
Probably.
People like they don't want to. Okay, let's not put the dye in the soda.
Okay, one other thing, and then I think I'm done. Okay, remember Jelly Shoes?
Yes, I do actually.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
So what was great about Jelly Shoes is they came in a bajillion million colors, and sometimes they had glitter in them, sometimes they didn't. But your mom could get them at Walmart or the dollar store or whatever, like super cheap. So I had all the covers, all the colors. Now the bad thing about Jelly Shoes. They made your feet smell something awful.
The rubber,
because
right?
you couldn't wear socks with them because that wouldn't look cool.
These things are basically like a rubber plastic hybrid of some kind.
Yes.
Man,
it was kind of like before Crocs.
Ooh, yeah.
Imagine Crocs only super hard.
Here comes little Aaron.
Imagine the style of Crocs, but like very uncomfortable. Like there's no point in wearing them at all.
Yeah, and then
and I'm sure they were great for your feet and joints.
Right. I'm sure that's why my feet are all messed up. But it's like. When they would start to kind of pop apart and stuff, you could maybe get a dozen, maybe 2 dozen wears out of them before they started breaking apart. But it didn't matter because they were cheap. Mom would be like, well, okay, well, let's go see what colors they got, So yeah, that was like little Aaron's guilty pleasure jelly shoes.
Well, if you want to reminisce with us, what's something that has gone by the wayside, something you remember, something I wish they'd bring that back, something like that. We'd love to know. You can shoot us an email.
That's all right. catcountry@mailzimmer.com. Just let us know. Let us know if there's anything that you're pining for these days that bring back good memories.
Yeah. We appreciate you joining us for this latest Cat Country KATcast.